Hi everyone, Andy Pickering here. Welcome to the Crypto Wealth Cafe, brought to you by Dacxi, powering serious crypto wealth for serious crypto investors. How are you doing? I hope you are doing well. So yeah, welcome along to the Crypto Wealth Cafe. Please feel free to join me and have a nice cup of coffee, and we'll just look through some of the big headlines at the moment that are affecting the crypto markets. We start, of course, here at Dacxi, and we're going to start today on the Dacxi Learn page, which you can see is just learn.dacxi.com. And, one of the things we've found at Dacxi is, one of the things that holds people back from getting involved into crypto is they lack confidence. People lack confidence, and it's no surprise because, it is a bit daunting when you first start your crypto journey. So the team at Dacxi Learn have put together a really cool learn-based product, which is designed to get you up to speed, to build your confidence, and give you the tools that you need to become a confident crypto investor. So if you want to get into it, I suggest you just go to here to Dacxi Learn, and you can take courses, you can watch videos, you can download ebooks, all that good stuff. So I said last week that we were going to talk to Gisa, who is the head of Dacxi Learn. So we're not going to talk to Gisa today, but we are going to talk to her sometime soon in the near future. And I can see that there's a video by Gisa and some of the other Dacxi team, more of a webinar, I suppose, talking about Dacxi Learn. So if you want to know more, just make sure you watch that video on the Dacxi YouTube channel. But for now, time to get on into the markets. So if we start here, coin market cap, you can see, just a little bit happening. Bitcoin still here at just under 42,000 US. Ethereum just over 3,000 US, and there's a bit of movement in the top 10. Solana's down, XRP is down. But we're just kind of still in that kind of no man's land, not too much happening. Let's go to trading view. Let's just pump up the Bitcoin chart. And so here you have it. This year, we just moved myself across. Just kind of going sideways, really, or since that drop at the start of the year. So not too much to be worried about. It's possible that we could keep trending down, or we could go sideways for a while, or we could head up. Really, no one really knows what will happen in the short term. I think the key point, of course, as we always say, is just on the longer term, the trend is generally up and to the right, but you do have to expect that short-term volatility, and of course that short-term volatility can be affected by global macro news events. Speaking of which, I'm not sure that this is a global macro news event, but I just thought, I think, last week I spoke about how my theme for this year was just growing mainstream adoption of crypto as an asset class and as a use case. But I think that's really going to be the trend this year. And, we saw a lot of that last year in 2021, and of course the markets did very well as a result. But I think that trend continues this year, and if so, we would expect the markets to follow suit. So I thought this was interesting. So Google hires PayPal vet to reset strategy after its banking retreat. So what does that mean? Well, Google has hired Arnold Goldberg, former PayPal exec, to run its payment division and set a new course for the business after it scrapped a push into banking. The move is part of a broader strategy to team up with a wider range of financial services, including cryptocurrencies, because up until this point, Google has largely avoided crypto. And so also says here, just follows a major turnaround in October. Google had spent years planning a digital checking and savings service, lining up 11 banking partners for the launch, but now they've scrapped all the work that went into that because they don't want to be a bank. They have no intention of being a bank. So I guess they're starting again, and they're starting again by including potentially crypto. And here's the relevant quote here. Google has partnered with companies including Coinbase and BitPay to store crypto assets in digital cards while still having users pay in traditional currencies. And crypto is something we pay a lot of attention to, they say, and as user demand and merchant demand evolves, we'll evolve with it. So, it's just a little article on Bloomberg, just an announcement from Google, but it just goes to show that when the likes of Google are starting to dip their toes into helping their users get involved with crypto, that is a good thing. On a similar note, a quarter of small businesses across 9 countries plan to offer crypto payments, according to a Visa survey, reports Reuters. So this is the article by Reuters. Do we have the Visa survey? Of course we do. So Visa say small businesses are optimistic, looking to digital payments for growth in 2022. So of course, it's no surprise to see that 73% of small businesses say accepting new forms of digital payments is fundamental to growth in 2022 as everything goes digital, as our digital world increases. Of course, you've got to be able to accept digital payments, but part of that, of course, is crypto. So an overwhelming 82% of small businesses said they plan to accept some form of digital option in 2022. 73% said accepting new forms of payments is fundamental to their business growth, and 24% said they plan to accept digital currencies such as Bitcoin. So again, it just goes to show there's this slow moving tidal wave of adoption just happening across multiple sectors. Here's another one. A survey says that 67% of Canadians want to get paid in crypto by 2027. So that's obviously 5 years away. But that's, I thought that was high. 67% of Canadians. That's a lot of people. So, yeah, and also 1 in 4 participants already own crypto. 58% of those people started their journey during the pandemic lockdowns, probably last year. It's just a very common story. So again, it just goes to show as these rails are built out across payment providers, and both employers and employees get more used to crypto. 67% of Canadians are willing to get paid in crypto in the next 5 years. Amazing. Is that you? If your employer said, hey, I'm happy to offer you part or whole of your payment in Bitcoin, would you take it? I mean, imagine if someone had said that to you 5 years ago and you'd said yes, you'd be doing well right now, wouldn't you? All right, what else is happening? Michael Saylor. Yesterday he hosted I suppose it was a webinar video conference from some of the key players in the Bitcoin Mining Council, and they published the key points here. So global Bitcoin mining data review for Q4 2021. It's obviously last year, but they just put this out yesterday. So the high-level takeaways are Bitcoin mining uses an inconsequential amount of energy. It is rapidly becoming more efficient, and it is powered by a higher mix of sustainable energy than any other major country or industry. So, yeah. Thought that's interesting. Global Bitcoin mining actually only consumes 0.14% of the world's energy production. So, if you want to find this report for yourself, just go to bitcoinmining.com. You can see global Bitcoin mining has the highest sustainable energy mix, and that is slowly rising all the time. In Q4, mining efficiency increased by 9%, and the sustainable electricity mix increased by 1%. And Bitcoin mining is technology intensive. It has increased 58x in efficiency over 8 years. So you can see that trend will continue as the ASICs and other mining equipment gets more and more efficient. So yeah, it's good stuff. So of course, one of the the big takeaway there is Bitcoin Mining Council confirms improvements in sustainable power mix and technological efficiency. Sustainable energy mix was 58%, 58.5%, and rising. So Elon Musk, I think he was looking for that to be at least 50% before Tesla would accept Bitcoin payments again. No word on whether where Elon sits on that today. I think it needs to be higher before Elon's puppet masters will approve that. Say no more. Let's keep it moving. Also, just showing this trend towards more efficient Bitcoin mining. And the reason that this is good is just, need this to happen to counter the narrative that Bitcoin mining is a drain on the planet's global energy system, and also, of course, a key contributor to climate change. And so as it kind of switches to renewables and even drives renewable energy, that is part of the narrative shift. So Intel yesterday announced, or it was leaked, that they are going to enter the Bitcoin mining hardware business. So the ISSCC conference, which sounds very nerdy, that's a yearly conference of the computer chip industry, and they are going to announce what they call a bonanza mine processor, a chip described as an ultra low voltage energy efficient mining ASIC. So it just means Intel could soon be competing with the likes of Bitmain for the specialized hardware that is required for Bitcoin mining. And again, that's just good because new entrants, it's more competition, the chips get more efficient, all that good stuff. So, and Intel are probably some of the best in the business in terms of chip efficiency. And speaking of, so, on the kind of the narrative watch, this is kind of a famous post from back in 2017. So the World Economic Forum, they said that based on extrapolating the trends from 2017, they thought that by 2020 Bitcoin will consume more power than the world does today. So basically Bitcoin mining would take over the world by 2020. Of course that hasn't happened. Bitcoin actually consumes less than 1% of global power. So it just goes to show, you can't really trust mainstream headlines about the likes of Bitcoin because, people, they don't know math, they don't understand the intricacies of how the Bitcoin mining network works, and you can't just extrapolate out and expect things to hold true. All right. Thought this was interesting. Fidelity put out a report saying that, or in the report they said the countries that secure some Bitcoin today will be better off than their peers. So in the report they contrast China's crackdown on Bitcoin against El Salvador taking the opposite approach by adopting the digital asset as legal tender. Of course, these are the two developments that couldn't be more opposed. Time will tell which path is more successful, even though many countries around the world are taking a strict approach. Fidelity doesn't believe that outright bans are on the table. This is the report here. So if you want to go get it yourself, just go to fidelitydigitalassets.com. This is the relevant path. So as they say time will certainly tell which path is more successful. But given our view, it isn't surprising we think an outright ban will be difficult to achieve at best. And if successful, a ban would lead to significant loss of wealth and opportunity. History has shown that capital flows to where it is treated best, and embracing innovation leads to more wealth and prosperity. Of course, it goes without saying there is high stakes game theory at play here, whereby if Bitcoin adoption increases, the countries that secure some Bitcoin today will be better off competitively. Therefore, even if other countries do not believe in the investment thesis or adoption of Bitcoin, they may be forced to acquire some as a form of insurance, basically just hedging against other countries getting involved first, and that is really the game theory involved. So, it's that kind of the dominoes start to fall. El Salvador is the first. Who's going to be next? And it's not an easy path, of course, because of El Salvador taking this path. Moody's has downgraded El Salvador's sovereign debt due to what they're doing with Bitcoin. And fascinating that the president of El Salvador, in response to Moody's downgrading the country's debt, President Bukele said, breaking, El Salvador, don't give an F. So lots going on with that. I mean, yeah, you don't really expect presidents of countries to tweet like this, but it just goes to show the changing world, and especially President Bukele is a bit younger, and he's prepared to be outspoken. And JP Richardson, who is the CEO of the Exodus wallet. I bet some of you Dacxi folk Exodus wallet users. I use Exodus, it's a good wallet, but JP from Exodus says El Salvador has little to lose and a lot to gain, of course, by being first on the Bitcoin bet, because if Bitcoin does become the world's reserve currency and El Salvador eventually becomes a leading export due to volcano mining, this could be the equivalent of the discovery of oil in the Middle East. So, and he says, of course, also tough not to admire President Bukele's attitude and communication style that appeals to a whole new generation. So again, it's just, things are shifting. But as I say, it's not going to be easy. You expect a lot of pushback, but someone has to be first. So we'll see what happens. All right, start to finish off. Just, I talk about Web3 a little bit. You'll see the Web3 conversation just pick up this year. This is an interesting fact. Something you don't see is people excitedly announcing their departure from Web3 to join a tech megacorp as employee number 111 or 4,617, whatever it is, to eke out a few extra pennies, trying to optimize ad revenue, because that's kind of the old way of doing things. The point that Jake Chavinsky is making here is the talent flow is one way. Talent is going into Web3. It's that old saying, follow the talent. The talent's been pouring into crypto for a few years now. It's pouring into Web3. And, you got to go where the smart people are going, right? So Chris Dixon, one of the smart kind of VC guys, of course, he says that him and his team from Andreessen Horowitz they're leading a Series B investment in Tom Brady's autograph. So Tom Brady, of course, a very famous American football player. What is autograph? I hadn't heard of this, but it's obviously a Web3 thing. Sounds like an NFT platform. Of course it is. I mean, I like NFTs, but even some of this stuff looks kind of strange to me, but it's fascinating. You got all these American, I suppose, sports stars and celebrities: Tom Brady, Tiger Woods, Wayne Gretzky, Tony Hawk, Simone Biles, Usain Bolt. You know, the list goes on. And so the idea is, yeah, it's a you can join the new era of collecting. It's digital collections, it's NFTs, stuff like that. But I mean, check this out. So this is a Tom Brady signed. It's a Tom Brady ruby signed immortal statue. But look at it. How cool. So cool. It was super cool. And yeah, what's the cost on that? 50 grand. And there's 29 of them. So yeah, I don't know if that's you. Would you put your 50 grand into Bitcoin, into Ethereum, or would you buy a limited edition, one of 29 limited edition Tom Brady ruby signed immortal statues? Man, it is a crazy world we live in. I think I mentioned this last week that Lamborghini were dipping their toes in Web3 and NFTs, and so I only mentioned that because they've released some more details. So the Lamborghini Twitter people say that we love to get out of our comfort zone and discover new spaces. We are glad to announce the Lamborghini Space Key, a space-themed artwork consisting of 5 units created by a special artist with the carbon fiber material we sent to the International Space Station in 2019. Hashtag Lamborghini, hashtag to the moon. So there's a website here on Lamborghini.com. Yeah, so this is going to be some kind of fancy Lamborghini Space Key NFT. They're just teasing all the details at the moment, but yeah, hashtag Lambo to the moon. So you can see it's just more and more again, and I just mention this stuff because it's out there. It's interesting, it's amazing, and it just shows, it just kind of speaks to our broader, wider theme, which is increasing mainstream adoption. When you've got the likes of Tom Brady, who we've used just as an example of a mainstream American sports star, and Lamborghini, a mainstream, well, maybe not mainstream, but certainly a well-known exotic sports car maker. They're all getting into Web3. So, you know, that means that crypto is here to stay. And look, by this time next year, what is going to happen this year? It's going to be crazy. And we're going to cover it here every week on the Crypto Wealth Cafe, brought to you by Dacxi. If all this stuff scares you, if you're thinking, man, what does it all mean? Then, you know, I suggest you go to Dacxi Learn and build your confidence, because it's going to be a crazy, wild ride, and you need to be confident to be able to navigate it. So go here to Dacxi Learn. As I say, we've got courses, webinars, ebooks, explainers. Yeah, and I think we'll talk more about that in a future episode. But yeah, I think that is us for today. So thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed your coffee. Hope you enjoyed your time here at the Crypto Wealth Cafe. And we'll see you again real soon. See you next week.